Gina Hamby here with Help for Homeschoolers, and today we're talking record keeping because I want to teach you today, through the end of this video, you're going to learn about 2 specific ways that you can record your learning. If you're doing interest learning, this can apply to any learning, but specifically if you're doing learning that is spontaneous. Let's say you took a field trip or something happened in the news and you decided to look that up together as a family. All of those things that you think to yourself, man, this is really good. I think this counts for school, but I don't know how to record it. I don't know how to incorporate it into my end of year review for my record keeping. So what you're gonna do as a homeschooler, you're gonna keep a portfolio or a binder. You need a way to put all of your records together. I used to put it in a spiral 3-ring notebook, a spiral bound notebook, and I would keep that all for the year's work. And that was examples of what we did. It was pictures of what we did. It was examples of their work. It was, I referenced what did I use to teach the boys. So here's what I want to show you today. I want to give you 2 ways that you can record the times that you're doing some spontaneous learning, or you're doing a unit study that you came up with, or let's say you went on a field trip as a family or with some other families. Whatever it is, whatever you think to yourself, man, we had some great discussion and I know my kids learned something today. I want to show you how to record that, how to package that nicely, how to bring some organization to that. All right, so number 1, my first example, and let me tell you something before I get started. Interest-driven learning, it's one of the great secrets to truly creating critical thinkers, to creating young adults that can problem solve, that, let's say they lose a job opportunity. They can come up with their own ways to create income. They can come up with their own solution. Let's say they're having a problem in their life. They're not just going to sit there and not know what to do about it. Your interest-driven learning, your outside of the box learning, where you actually see something and you learn about it together, you're teaching them how to think for themselves. Okay, this is one of the great ways to develop critical thinking in your children. All right, so I'm going to show you a form that I made up just to help you feel more organized, to be able to track what you're teaching them, the video you watched together, the book you read together, the field trip that you took together. Okay, so on this form, I have what I learned today. And I put the topic, the name, the date, and here I wrote interesting or weird fact that we learned about the topic. And this is like a 1 or a 2 sentence overview. And then I wrote 2 sentence overview or summary about that topic. So the first one is something interesting they learned or something weird they learned. And then they could make a drawing, or they could cut out a picture or print a picture of whatever it is they learned about. So this is great for elementary through middle school. You can also adapt it to high school. For high school, what I also recommend you could do is take a sheet of notebook paper and do bullet point style. So let me give you an example. Last night, my son came to me. As the time of this recording, it's mid-September and we're in Maryland. And my son comes to me around 6 o'clock last night. He's like, Mom, come here, look at the sun. The sun looks so weird. And so all of us, we went outside and we're looking up at the sun, and it looked like a blood moon. It kind of like a light orange color. It didn't have any rays coming forth from it. It didn't look like the typical setting sun, and yet there weren't any clouds in the sky. And we were all just kind of perplexed. We're like, what is causing that? Now, it's the year 2020 as I make this video, and there have been wildfires just ravaging the west coast of the United States and just creating a lot of destruction, a lot of hardship. I mean, definitely let's be praying for those families. But here's what I learned, what we found out together, is that it had to do with the jet stream and the way it was kind of pulling the smoke all the way across the United States from one coast to the other, and it was affecting the atmosphere to where what we saw and how the sun looked to us. Now, let's say that, so my oldest, he's 23 now, so we don't homeschool anymore, obviously, but let's say that this was a 10th grader or a 5th grader and they were very interested. So what you're going to do is you're going to together, you can Google, you can go to NASA, you can look up weather for kids, weather phenomena for kids. You can Google it, you can go to the library and you can get out books about the atmosphere and wildfires, and you could create a unit study about this. So this is where this page is going to come in handy. And wherever you're watching this video, don't forget I have a PDF for you of this page, and you can print it out and you can use it for your own homeschooling. So you can write down, where did you find the information? So did you get it from a library book? Did you watch a good documentary? Did you find one on TV? Did you find one on, one of those websites like Amazon or something like that? I am not very technological, if you can tell, but you guys are, right? So you're getting it from the library book or you're Googling it. So you're going to just reference the website as well. Throughout the years, each year I kept, sometimes it was for each subject, sometimes it was a general list of what books that we read or what videos that we used. So you could just put that at the bottom of this form, and for your high schooler, you could just put that, we use nasa.gov and what you learned about that subject. So that's one way. That's great. Another way, I created these photo pages throughout the year because let's say you didn't just learn one subject. So for this, you could be using this paper for just a spur of the moment learning. And let me say this, for that spur of the moment learning, you can turn it into your science for the week or for the month. And you say, Gina, I already have a science curriculum, but my kids still ask that question. This is the freedom in homeschooling. You can take a minute, you can take a couple days, you can take a couple of weeks, you can put a pause on that science curriculum because you're still learning. The goal of homeschooling is just to progress in learning, to just build upon what you know. So for that week or that month, whatever you want it to be, for that day, for that day of science, you can just learn about what caused the sun to look that strange light orangish glow in the evening sky. And that is your science for the week. And I guarantee they are going to remember this. This is something that interests them, and they're going to lock that up into their brain, okay? So, but let's say you did an entire year where you didn't follow a textbook, but you kind of based it off of what they were interested in. So this one is learning through preserving the harvest. So we like to learn how to do for ourselves, how to have our own food. And so what I would do is I would take pictures. And there we made some goat cheese. We had some dairy goats for a time, and we made the goat cheese, and it's just a picture of one of the boys enjoying it. Here is where we were canning, so we had to learn about safe canning means and what was acidic foods, and do you water bath, do you pressure can, all of those things we had to learn about. So I would take pictures while we did it, and this was just part of it. I would often couple it with a paper like this, or if they're in high school, we're doing bullet point, spiral notebook, like a journal style of what their learning was. So, and then I would put this in my end of the year binder. Here is another example. So for our art in high school, we did industrial arts. And so I said learning through building projects. And here the boys are working together to build a greenhouse. And here they made some crates for me to keep the potatoes that we harvest. Here was for a milking station for the dairy goat. So I just took pictures. This is how it can become like a fun family scrapbook that you'll come to enjoy for years and years. So I have 15 years of these. I absolutely love looking at, I call it my photographic journal of our lifestyle of learning. And I put this in my binder, and I'm also having their written work. So that's including all the other subjects. But this is a fun way to be able to document. You don't have to get fancy. Some of you are scrapbookers. You're much craftier than I am. But this is just my way. I took construction paper. I snapped the pictures, and then I just printed them from someplace like Walgreens or Snapfish or something, and then I just glued them onto the page. And this is just a fun way to document what you've done. You're you're kind of bolstering up when you have a lot of learning that's outside of the box, when you're seizing the opportunity all around you to figure out what do your kids really love to learn about. That is a great way to document. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, could you share this with another mom that you think that this would benefit? And thanks so much, guys. I hope you enjoy your day. Take care. Bye-bye.